This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? The point is, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Verse 16, when the wicked are multiplied, transgressions increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 16. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor to Kol Haloyim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadosh Barakatham. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity and risking their lives as well as their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwap and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is an edifying lesson. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Basically, coming with an article off the news break. It's Business Insider, and basically just showing you how these states are getting more totalitarian. Basically, coming up with mandates which are laws they put in place to stop you from actually just showing you that you don't have the freedom of speech, or you're not as free as that you believe yourself to be. We was at camp and just brothers was bringing out different information. You know what I mean? How the governments in the states is trying to actually tax. They try to basically like audit. They're passing laws to basically be able to go into your accounts to audit. Basically audit everybody because these states is pretty much hurting. You know what I mean? You got to realize that these local municipalities, these local county and city governments, literally run off of tax dollars. And if people ain't working, you know what I mean, or as many people that was once working aren't working anymore, they still need, you still got to feed that beast. And that's why, it makes so much sense when, the elders broke it down as far as what the beast, because you got people that really believe the beast is actually a creation, you know what I mean, a red hair, Shantan is a big, gigantic red person with horns, and not person, the thing or entity with horns and hoof, feet, and whatnot. When in actuality, when you go into the beast, or when they go into the beast, it's a four-headed monstrosity or whatever. But in actuality, it tells you Daniel, it's four kingdoms. You know what I mean? So just showing you how the Lord could bug you out, or what I mean, and showing you how Esau actually know the scriptures, because Esau, you got Edomites that know that much. But anyhow, so lucky. So I'm gonna go into some of this articles. Lord willingly, this is hopefully. I mean, it's all through the spirit, but I'm not intending to try to make this that long. So it says Americans can't keep ignoring dozens of states sneaking through laws that attack the right to protest and make it more dangerous to take to the streets. And we living in times where you got a lot of uproars of the people. For multitude of things, it's just a lot of division. That's what brothers was bringing out. The one brother uh, that everybody affectionately knows as Saint Benji. All the brothers in GMS that know affectionately as Saint Benji, he was speaking on the fact that, the vision. He was like, you get the vision literally with people that's actually for BLM. You got people that's against it. You got people that's for wearing the mask. You got people that's against it. And it's so spiritual because when you actually read the scriptures, it's multiple scriptures that talk about, the vision is of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The one that comes to mind is when it says in the book of Matthew, you think that I came to bring peace, but I came not to bring peace, but a sword. You know what I mean? And while everybody's talking about how loving and that's how people don't really understand the scriptures. You know, the Lord said He literally isn't. Like, so they talk about kumbaya where the Lord comes back. And the scriptures say when He was there, He made the statement, I came not to bring peace, but a sword. He came to bring division. So it says Republican-led state legislatures in several dozen states have passed laws severely limiting the right to protest. This is a consequence of a GOP takeover at the state level, while Democrats focus on the federal level. So you got the Republicans doing it on the state side, and the Democrats doing it on the federal side. So at the end of the day, and more is to come. They already talk about Biden basically debating on if he gonna mandate the Marine, I mean, not the Marines, but the military period to take the max. And the thing is, the reason why they're not pushing it on them, because what people don't understand is you literally just signed yourself up for a science experiment. At the end of the day, this is an experimental drug. But eventually they're going to mandate it. And when you when you join the military, the thing is, it's like you're one step above an inmate, because an inmate doesn't have any rights. The state owns you, and the government owns you when you sign that contract. As far as being in the military, that's why. Like, I got family members that was in the military. When they take experimental shit sometimes. Like, I mean, they say that it ain't experimental, but like, for instance, like, I remember my father was talking about how they would make them actually go into the room and literally pull out the I forgot what gas it was, but they would have to sit in the room with the gas. I mean, it'd be like so many soldiers and so many gas masks, and then basically you'd have to take the mask off and deal with the. They was getting their bodies used to dealing with the chemicals. Yeah, so that's why, like, literally, if you sign up for it and then you jump out of it or you run away, they can court martial you and send you to prison. So, what I mean, if they say that they got to take this because that's part of whatever, they're going to have to take it, or they're going to risk literally being court-martialed and going to jail. And Leavenworth and those military prisons ain't no joke, because you think you get treated fucked up in a state penitentiary, but you got to remember, this is the federal government. And that's a geared division. That's the spirit how the Lord brought that all the way back. Because you got all that's going to do if Biden actually mandate that is actually fuck the morale of his soldiers at a time where they're it ain't peace talks, it's war talks. It says this is a consequence of the GOP takeover at the state. I read all that. Americans need to pay attention to what's going on in their states, or it will be too late. Also, opinion column. And it says that this is an opinion column and thoughts expressed by those of the authors. It says the Republican Party is waging an attack on our democracy at the state level and getting away with it. In the past few weeks, bills have been passed through Republican-led legislatures. Now, the thing is, this might be that person's opinion, but the thing is, they're talking about actual mandates that have been passed. And that makes me think of a scripture. So let me go get it. That's the spirit, because it's right there. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And the decree is a mandate to go back to a law. You know what I mean? It says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. And who are the needy and the poor? It's Jacob or Jake or Yasharallah or Israel. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indian, or Haitians, because it tells you in scripture that Esau, Edom, is not in trouble as other men. You know what I mean? Brother was bringing that out of camp. You know what I mean? Literally, like, they not worried about, like, Edomite doesn't have to fear about when he gets pulled over by, another Edomite, something happening to him. I remember Dave Chappelle made the joke about how he was riding with his Edomite friend, and he was like, basically he was talking about he want to race the guy next to him, and they get pulled over. They did. He like they was getting high or whatever, and the police come up, and he like it's two Edomites, and so he like the Edomite like, no, the police officer like, you know how fast you were going. He was like, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? He said, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? Because he basically racing him. He was like, you know what I mean? And then literally, I don't know if y'all ever heard that joke, but that shit was funny because, like I said, Dave Chappelle got immaculate timing, and that's what make comedy funny most of the time, you know. But anyway, he was like, afterwards, because basically got it let off with a slap on the wrist, like, don't do it no more, get the fuck out of here. And then he was like, Dave was playing like he was him, and he was like, oh, Dave. And then he was like, you didn't know you couldn't do that. So he acted like he was talking to the wife friend. The wife friend was like, that was good, wasn't it? It was good. He was like, because I did know I couldn't do that. Nonetheless, though, they're not in trouble as other men. I mean, they're not worried about, like I said, at the end of the day, Jake, I heard it 2/3 of that. He said, shit, he remember one time he felt like the cops was going to kill him. You know what I mean? We go through things like this. Like I said, I mean, recently I was in a situation. I was wondering. I'm glad it happened the way it happened because if it was any other time, I could have been on the news. I mean, you actually supposed to, use wisdom and discernment through every situation. But if it's the Lord's will, no matter how much wisdom you use, it doesn't matter. Look at Yahweh. He couldn't do anything about it. Was his time. You know what I mean? As much wisdom as he had. You know what I mean? That's how you can't. Your arms ain't long enough to box with the Most High. You know what I mean? You can't beat him with your left, your right, with both, with the army. And, you know what I mean? Like Esau about to see that. You know what I mean? But Salakia run it off at the mouth. Not trying to digress, but it just made me think about you know the power that this man actually possesses. I mean, that's a power to be able to pass laws and legislation, and believe it or not, that's all throughout the scriptures. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 20 says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Look at the different laws and decrees. They've made mandates that you have to wear a mask. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's something sickening, and to show you how slow and just feeble-minded people are, literally, that's the most uncomfortable thing. I mean, like to me. And if I'm uncomfortable, I know you got to be uncomfortable. I remember the brother Michael Allen from L.A. Ancient of Days camp. He was saying how he did a video, and it was a Edomite chick, and basically she was like an athlete. She was running track, and literally wearing a mask. She was running track and passed out. And it did, what I mean? She was like, it never happened before up until she was wearing a mask. Now, when you go look up, basically that's your carbon dioxide that you're breathing out, because we take in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. The plants and the trees take that in. Show you how cold the Lord is. He had everything living off everything. You get what I'm saying? So we need the plants and the trees to actually get the oxygen, and our bodies exhale the carbon dioxide that they need. At the end of the day, what was so funny about it, and show you how simple people are, she made the statement. She realized that, hold up, something ain't right. I ain't never passed out before running, but this particular time, because I'm wearing this mask, I passed out. But on the interview, when they interviewing her, she wearing a mask. And that's what he kept on speaking on, showing you how simple these Babylonians are. So that's a wicked decree. You know what I mean? That's a wicked mandate. That's a wicked law that they're passed, where you're going to get fined. You can get in trouble for not wearing this mask. Shit, they already messing with you. Like I said, literally, I just got I had appealed a strike I had got based on, I brought out an article that was out of their newspaper because, it'd been a lot of adverse reactions to the CV, this jab and stab. And literally, I read out an article and they gave me a strike for it, talking about medical misinformation. So I appealed it because the one brother from Amawan Gabar made the video. He appealed the video, and the Lord made it where they took the strike off and put the video back up, right? So literally, I appealed it through the spirit, like, well, I'm going to try it. They waited a whole month to say, well, you know what, we still stand by our decision. And my whole thing was, how is it medical misinformation if I literally read out an article that's in y'all publications? I ain't just make this shit up. This is an article talking about you got people that's getting adverse reactions. That show you how desperate Esau Edom is. Like, this is hilarious. Back of the article, it says these bills include draconian provisions to limit peaceful protests, like increasing penalties for blocking streets, expanding the definition of a riot so that it applies to groups as small as 3 people, and making it legally defensible for drivers to run over protesters with their cars. And I heard they passed a bill like that. That's making it legal for you to be able to, like, it's funny because Suge Knight is in jail right now because literally, I think they was trying to jump on him or something like that. So he jumped in his car and sped out and hit somebody. I think he killed them. So they gonna make it where they gonna make it legal uh, for a driver to run over protesters with their cars. That's that's how you know the day to day how you give it a like. I'm trying not to use profane language, but come on, man, that's crazy. The bills are a clear response to the unprecedented wave of predominantly peaceful protests against police brutality and systematic racism that swept over the country last summer in the wake of the murder of George Floyd and the indigenous-led protests that target projects and expand fossil fuel infrastructure. And they talking about GAD, because GAD, as of lately been protesting. Well, not as of lately. I forgot I did a video on it like last year about it was a Gadite that went to jail because basically, they had to try to like build a pipeline through one of those lands that GAD possessed or GAD is on. And I forgot the guy's name, but literally he went to jail. He's like the head of the coalition out there that deals with, between the tribe and the Edomites. And, they show you how they fucking them still to this day. So, I ain't gonna bring out no more of this because, like I said, again, this is an opinion piece. But if you want to read it, this is out of Business Insider. It ain't that lengthy, but the point has been made. They passing laws that's ridiculous. Uh, that's actually a wicked, device. I had some more scriptures. Let me get this. Book of Proverbs chapter 12, verse 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counsels of peace is joy. Because at the end of the day, these people are liars. It tells you, the wicked come out of the womb speaking lies. You know what I mean? They nature is to lie. That's one of the weapons they use. As they were blessed with the gift of the sword, but they were also blessed with the talent or the skill of deceit. They're deceivers. That's what we call them, devils. You got to remember. Take the time to think about this. These is the people that made all those different treaties with Gad and Reuben, and then broke every one of them. You got to be smooth with the power of the tongue and with your words. If you made a treaty, broke it, made a treaty again, broke it, made a treaty again, and still kept on being able to make more treaties. You know what I mean? That's like if you ever seen that movie Blow with Johnny Depp when he played that dude Boston George, and how literally the mother kept on running away, and the father would keep on taking her back. So probably every time he'll take her back, she'll say something. Oh, baby, I love you. But he loved her. You know what I mean? Which it tells you in scripture, a woman can be a man's downfall. So, um, made me think of another scripture. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73. 73. I'm gonna start at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish. Salaki, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And when you go into scriptures and actually research, you'll find out, the scriptures that talk about who the wicked is. You got wicked people, but you have a wicked nation of people. Verse 4, not just Esau or the progenitor of that nationality or the race or that tribe of people, but the nation of Edom. That's what the book of Malachi chapter 1 talks about. The border of wickedness, Salakia. The border of wickedness is Esau. Verse 4, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men. I brought this out already. You know what I mean? Like I said, at the end of the day, they don't have to look over their shoulders. Even I had to actually live on the street. I literally, you see the pride of this devil. Like I said, literally, like, how you ain't got shit, but you expect people to still like cater to you. Being that low, you should literally
you know, be that's a humbling experience. Anyway, just to you can't feed yourself as a grown person. You got to rely on somebody. If these people don't come to do this, you might not eat. You know, that's supposed to humble you. To showing you the pride of this place. Neither are they plagued like other men. Verse 6. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. And who are the most violent people on the planet? It's red Hebrew Edomite. They eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. You know, it tells you in the book of Genesis when Isaac blessed Esau, he it said they were going to live on the fatness of the earth, roughly paraphrased, and that's why they live in the best places. You know, I was listening to I forgot who I think it was the elder Apostle Gabar, and he was talking about how when you go into these other countries and how Esau, Edom live in the best place. You know, when you take time, that's why like look at like no matter what city I go to, it's always a separate neighborhood where Esau, Edom live, and when you or dwell at, and when you go in those neighborhoods, it's a totally different vibration. You know what I mean? Like I mean, I know brothers have experienced this. That's why you got situations when they see a Jake walking through, like that one situation I did a video on it, where you had the army, the military guy that saw the Jake and basically tried to impress his little the she devil Edomite, and basically he was trying to bully on Jake, but Jake lived in the neighborhood. You know, and I went into how they naturally just hate you. This dude like literally telling him I live in the neighborhood. He talking about, oh, I've never seen you. Like, who the fuck you supposed to be? You know what I mean? Like, when in actuality it was all. And then you got stupid ass people that's making comments about America isn't really racist. Like the fuck? You got modern day. You the elder apostle Tahar just did a video about a Jake female. I think she was a lesbian, but a Jake female got found hanging. And if it was an Edomite female, lesbian or whatnot, I bet you this would be breaking news. It took for I ain't heard nothing about this on the news. It took for the elder to bring that up. Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully because they proud. You know what I mean? Like I said, and then, you know, they don't care about their oppressing you. Look, like I said, at the end of the day, they don't even feel they owe reparations to Jake. And for you to actually, for them to actually be having talks about it, now that's how you know it's got to be the end. You know it's got to be the end if they try to give you fucking money. I got one last scripture. Yeah, I said I was gonna try to stop cussing, but like this one is the spirit of this. All kind of curse words came out. Well, profane words. A curse is like how Alicia cursed them children and them sea bears came out. You know what I mean? Profane language or rude speech is what I'm doing. So, but this is the book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 25. Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his head. When you look up that word policy, understand it. I thought it would go more into the because basically like through his policy is like his laws, his legislation. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And he's doing that right now. He's already a proud man. You know, like I said, with the state of this country, at the end of the day, you would think, like I said, that he'd be more humbled down, but no, not at all. You know, it tells you in the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 10 about as the judge is of the city, so are the people. You know what I mean? So this red Hebrew Edomite that run this place is proud. So why wouldn't the people? You got 2/3 niggas that live in the projects that's proud. You got motherfuckers that's really thinking this shit sweet on these stimmy checks to go buy a pair of Yeezys, which are some ugly ass shoes, by the way, in my opinion, because you want the world to be assuming that you got something. Like, you know how stupid it is to spend $400 on a pair of shoes that a nigga take up off your feet. I mean, I remember motherfuckers was robbing people for Jordans. I'm surprised motherfuckers ain't getting robbed for the Easy. It says, I didn't know they cost that much. That's probably why he got so much motherfucking money. You know what I mean? Like, niggas really spending that type of money on them fucking shoes. And they ugly, though. Like, anyway, Salaki. That's some carnal. But I was just thinking like, wow, because when I actually realized it, I was like, wow, I grew up in the age when people was getting robbed for Jordans, or you get killed over Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You stepped on my Jordans. Them was only $100. What they doing over these Yeezys? At the most 150. I was on offer up. Motherfucker got some Yeezys on there 525. I say what? So like it. Just show you how vain this place is and how it got. I mean, like so like it. It says that through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his head, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many, which he's doing now with this experimental jab and stab. I mean, people, like I said, literally, what's so funny, like I said, how spiritual it is. You got people that's fully vaccinated that's coming down with COVID again. So now they go justify you actually have to take booster shots and take pills and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? But that's destroying a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, and your common sense will kick in. If I took this shit and still came down with it, why? What would be the purpose of taking it? And you gonna have people that take it again, that's gonna trust in science, so called, and be destroyed by that. You know what I mean? You don't even know what this shit gonna do to you 5 months from now. You have people that took it and died. Why would you want to put something like that in your system? But hey, if anything, that should show you that this motherfucker the devil. You know what I mean? Like brothers that's in the truth literally see it, but the scary part is, I can see the Lord waking people up after they took it and shit. You know what I mean? Like it says, "And by peace he shall destroy many, he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, which is Yahweh Shah." And you gotta be a proud individual to try to stand up against the Lord. You know what I mean? You gonna try to actually fight, but how about Shem Yahushua, the Most High? He's gonna put that spirit on them, you know what I mean, to stand up, because at the end of the day, this is his movie. But he shall be broken without hand, meaning it ain't even be a fight. You know what I mean? It tells you in scripture this place gonna be destroyed in 1 hour. No matter, I just recently did a video about the jetpacks. I think it's called Gravity Industries. I thought it was called Aerial something, but it's called Gravity Industries. The company Gravity Industries, the guy that started the company, he came up with a jetpack. So these motherfuckers really flying around like the Rocketeer. And literally, I watch it. No, I used the footage off of RT, and somebody made a comment that said, "Oh yeah, that's for his space force." And I can see that because, like I said, at the end of the day, no matter what they try to use it for, at the end of the day, it's going to be weaponized because that's what Esau does. The brother was bringing that out at Cap. He was saying how this man has weaponized the air, the food. Basically, he weaponized, he fucked up the land, he fucked up the air, he fucked up the water, and fucked up the people. This man has a lot to pay for. He's weaponized the food, he's weaponized the air, he weaponized the mass. Because at the end of the day, as it tells you in the book of Ezekiel chapter 28 about how he's wiser than Daniel. Look at what this motherfucker, I just tell you, he came up with a jetpack like the Rocketeer. So you telling me, when you go into how a car exhaust system works, it's based off the human body. You know what I mean? Like it ain't extra air that goes back into the system. The air goes out the system. That's why you got a muffler. So that's based off of your body. True fact. So how the fuck after all these years and as long as the car been out, all of a sudden now wear a mask and they know what the fuck they doing? And that's what makes this man the devil. I made this be that long, so that was all through the spirit. So with that, you know what I mean, just showing you got way more righteous decrees coming though, because you gotta take time to think about it. They don't want no resistance to what they about to do. They want you just to be like a child. You know, like the elder always brings out when you go into the word government is govern, control, mental, mind. So it's mind control. They want to be your power. I remember my brother said that one time. He was like, your God should be your mother, your father. I'm like, what the fuck? And some people, they want to be put in the position of like a mother or father. They're your God. That's why they try to ban the Bibles and all that. You know what I mean? You know, I will end on this. When you go into Second Ezra's, it talks about many great miseries is going to happen to this place because they walked in that great pride. And you about to see it. This is Second Ezra chapter 8 verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. When you start up, it's talking about humbling thyself. You know what I mean? Because it tells you in scripture, the Lord deals with a contrite spirit, a humble spirit. You know what I mean? And when you go to the book of Proverbs chapter 6, it talks about the 6 things that the Lord hate. And I think the first one is pride. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they going to pass way more laws, you know what I mean? Because just, come on, you know that it's got to be some pride in this place. If you going to try to stand up and fight against it, fight, just like in scripture talk about how can the pot how can the clay tell the potter, you for me wrong? Like, who, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like your child telling you what they go, you know what I mean? Like, they ain't paying the bill, they ain't doing shit. You know what I mean? But they telling you some shit. You know what I mean? You got parents out here that allow that to happen. Anyway, Salakia for being a little bit all over the place. Just believe. If you think that's something, you ain't saying nothing yet. Because like I said, at the end of the day, they already showed you how they enforce things. Why do you think that you got years back, I remember they was talking about how the military was giving all these local police departments military grade equipment. The MRAPs, the tanks and whatnot. What do you think they gonna use that for? So with that, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachagados Bakatham, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwath. So as the Akim out there listening and learning, Lord willingly, this was an edifying video. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations. Subscribe to this truth to you. Let's say shalom. Until next time, I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.